Welcome to another episode of Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night, Hump Day edition. Consequences and repercussions, man. What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing out there? My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of the show. I'm going to try to do my best to be able to conduct this conversation like a symphony orchestra. Welcome to the show. I'm also known as the Negro Whisperer in some circles. So welcome to Outlaw Radio. I got a bunch of guests, as you can see. Mr. Carter, what's going on with you?
Peace. How everybody doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor, your holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. I'm also the one who brings you nature, nature, herbs, supplements, and vitality. If you ain't had it, you better get it. You can find it on Facebook, Nature, Nature, Herbs, Supplements, or you can go to my health page, Help Yourself Heal Thyself, and ask somebody how to find Nature, Nature, Herbs, and Supplements. Or you go to my page, inbox me, and I'll tell you how to get your Nature, Nature, Herbs, and Supplement. Or fuck it, just call me, 414-949-2122. Let's put a package together for you.
In our never-ending pursuit of trying to really support anything that's positive in the hood, I'd like to welcome this brother to the show. He's no stranger. He's been here a couple times, so he's damn near family. My brother, tell these people who you are and what you do.
Okay, let me see. Do I need to do something flashy like brother Kamar? Because I can. I know how to rhyme and shit too.
You got it in you.
I ain't as cold as bro, but I'm decent though. But my name is Ajamu Butler family. What's going on, y'all? Founder of Heal the Hood Milwaukee. I am a lecturer, an activist, a mover, and a groover. I am a father. I'm a child of God. I'm a healer to whatever degree. And I'm just out here in these streets trying to be me. That's it. That's all. I got the gang with me today, though.
I see. Ladies, introduce yourself. My sister, Miss Carney, you've been here before, so you're family. So I guess we'll let our guest introduce herself first.
Well, I cannot follow up with those, but I'm at the introductions, y'all. I was over here like, yes. But I am Santana. I'm a filmmaker here in Milwaukee. I am a impact campaign advisor with a company called The League, or an organization called The League. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a believer in Milwaukee, based on our last conversation we just had offline. Like I said, I can't really compete with those intros, but that's pretty much me.
Hey, well, you did pretty good.
Thank you.
Just rhyme a little bit next time. You'll be all right. Just throw a little rhyme in there.
I don't know how to rap. I ain't the poetry person here.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Thank you.
My sister, Miss Carney, Mrs. Carney, what's going on?
What's going on, Kevin? It's your girl, Jamila Carney, movement minister. I am the curator of Agape Yoga Street. I'm a preacher, a teacher, a healer. I be outside, stay in these streets. Holla at your girl. Good. Milwaukee. Global brand ambassador, advocate out here in these streets.
Come on, better come on
in. And last but not least, I got one of my other co-conspirators. So if when the indictment falls, his name will be in it too. My brother Rel, what's popping with you, man?
Hey man, this thing here bigger than Nino Brown. I just playing. Hey man, I'm just blessed to be here. You know, my allergies was whooping me because I was tending to that yard work, so I'm feeling a whole lot better, man.
Well, that's good news, man. That's good news. Welcome to the show. Before we get started, I wanted to say, and I wanted to address what really ain't no elephant in the room, but I feel some kind of way. Doing this show, I feel some kind of way. And I'm glad that I have this brother, my brother, Ajamu. And I've been saying Ajamu, and some people say Ajamu, so you can tell me which one you prefer, because I'm black. I say Ajamu. You know how we do words. But so I'm glad to have you here, because I'm sitting on a frown over here. This is why I named the show Consequences and Repercussions, because I feel like the murders, like just the death of children, 20, was it up to 20 children now?
I think so.
And you kind of sandwich that right in between this thing that happened in Buffalo. And so, and I'm looking at what even happened at the 5 Serve here a couple of weeks ago. And curfew downtown for 2 days aside, right? My mayor. That's my opinion, not nobody else's. Right, right, right. But let's talk about Heal the Hood, man, because I think the timing is right for us. So let's talk about what you want to do through Heal the Hood in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so let's take it just 2 or 3 steps back, and then we're gonna bring it back to where we need to be. My name is initially pronounced Ajamu. That's the more cultural relevant or the more culturally quote unquote proper way to say it. However, my parents, because they black, they switched it up, and I think they added the O, and they just changed some enunciation. So I know a brother, his name is Ajamu, and then whenever I see the brother, that's what I approach him as. But my name is Ajamu. Same meaning, same gang, same colors. You dig? Um, but in lieu of everything going on, I don't know. It's so hard to have a perspective on that thing sometimes because my heart hurts so bad. You understand me what I'm saying? And I don't really care if the victims be red, green, white, little Mexican kids, little brothers and sisters. That thing's so tragic, it don't make no sense. But this is the culture of America, though. America was funded and founded off of bloodshed, violence, you know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. This is how this thing came to be. So it's not nothing new. It's not nothing that we haven't been experiencing. At one point, it was mass slavery. At another point, it was mass lynchings. At another point, it's mass school shootings, so on and so forth. I mean, it's like, what angle do we want to even attack this conversation? Do we want to talk about it from the element of the racial, piece there? Do we want to talk about, now they saying, oh, we need armed security guards in school? Well, shit, we trying to have institutions for education. Do we need to put prison bars on the windows and things of nature like that? I am also a very pro-gun, advocate and individual, right? I do believe on maintaining my Second Amendment right to by any means necessary. Right now, obviously, I'm not in the mind frame to go shoot up a school or a synagogue or a Bucks game or so on and so forth. But it's like, as a black man who is a avid firearms owner, it's hard for me to really fathom the fact, statistically speaking, that if I ever had to use my arm, it'll be against a brother who probably looked just like me. You understand? The brother probably had dreadlocks just like me. And that's a thing. So, again, it's a multi-layered conversation. I wouldn't even really know where to begin. What we do at Heal the Hood is not the end all to end all. I'm super excited. We got the 10th annual Heal the Hood block party coming up this Saturday. You see, I threw that shameless plug in there. 10th annual Heal the Hood coming up. However, we know that the journey is long and the opposition is strong. You see what I'm saying? So, I could keep going on and I could really preach and teach on that thing. But again, that's a very multi-layered, conversation, man, to deal with everything that's going on. The social emotional trauma. Educators is already going through so much shit. The pressure that is on us inside of the school system. Now we got to worry about somebody coming in there with the blick and, so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I asked you that question for a reason. I asked you that question because I know it's cats out there that's saying right now, like, man, he doing that. What that's supposed to do? Or what, what good that's gonna do? Or, I mean, we know how the crickets chirp, and not that you pay attention to them, but I be having time for the bullshit sometimes, so I'll be ready to address it. Like, you want to know why he doing it? Ask him. You know what I mean? But that's because we get lost. We end up having arguments about the argument because of that, because of that little dysfunction in the background that's always hanging around. We had a very long conversation on the show about Black people being some of the most beautiful people to ever know and be around and be associated with. Loving people, giving people, very spiritual people. But there's a small element in our community that lives to fuck up your day. What he smiling about? What did she think she cute? You hear people say shit like this. Look at his little cheap ass car, a little ragged ass house, and so they exist to fuck up your day. And it's a small element in our community. I don't want people to think it's the majority of the people, because you said Heal the Hood. You're going to go in the hood. It's going to be a lot of good people there. A lot of people who want to get out. A lot of people who want to make progress. Apparently, they're just dazed and confused, because that's how Milwaukee keep you. Just dazed and confused.
And let me just say this, 2 seconds, if I may. I ain't gonna hog up the mic because there's a whole lot of teaching and preaching to be done on this evening. But we had a situation. This was back when we did Heal the Hood over on 24th and Burleigh. Now we was already in the trenches, right? That's where the mud is at up over on Burleigh. You feel me? Make a long story short, a grandmother and her 2 grandchildren came up to me. These young ladies were no more than like 7, maybe 8, 9 years old. And one of them was disfigured in the face. I still got my picture with these 2 young ladies at Heal the Hood that year. She had got hit by a stray bullet. several months back, right? And the grandmother came to me and said, "Young man, you run this thing?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. How can I help you? Y'all good?" She's like, "I just want to say thank you. Since the incident," she explained the incident, and she said, "Since that happened, we have not gone out. We don't do nothing. We, you know what I'm saying? We kind of stay to ourselves in the house." And she said, "I just want to thank you for creating this, safe space. Thank you for, having this. We see security and blah, 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 so on and so forth." Man, listen, that mean the world to me. So, Heal the Hood it's not out here to stop violence for once and for all. That's not our goal. That's not our mission. Our mission is to show that we can create safe spaces in our community with a diverse bunch of people in our community for a common goal type shit.
All right, so I want to know what the sisters do. I want to know their roles and what they're doing with your organization. So I don't know. My sister, we'll start with Sanchez. I think that was her last name. I'm horrible with names, so if I say it wrong, correct me. I
No,
want
that's Santana. You talk about Miss Santana.
Santana. I'm sorry. I said that showed the racist in me. I said Sanchez.
Yeah, Tamar, get your man some more. Get
I
your
knew it
man
was
some
there in
more.
the vicinity. I mean, I'm black, but I know my name is very Hispanic. It was somewhere in that vicinity.
Banditos. I'm on
Uh,
some other shit. So
uh,
no, my sister, what do you do with the organization?
yeah, so like I said, I'm a filmmaker in Milwaukee, and for the last, well, not the last, but in 2014 there was an incident in Milwaukee involving a man named Claude Motley, who was shot in the face during an attempted carjacking. And he was shot by a 15-year-old boy, and 2 days later, the 15-year-old boy was shot and partially paralyzed himself while trying to carjack a woman who had her conceal and carry permit. And I joined the team of a production company here called 371 Productions, where they were already in production of this film because the director, Brad, is friends with Claude, and Claude recovered at his house. And so we made this film for 5 years in Milwaukee and just really showing the after effects of what happened, not only to Claude after being shot, but also Nathan, the boy who shot him, and also Victoria, the woman who shot Nathan in self-defense. And so we did that for about 5 years. The film came out in March 2021 at South by Southwest Film Festival. We've done over 60 festivals since then. We just had our PBS premiere on May 9th. So now you can watch that on the PBS app, and or check your local listings. And so Ajamu, I knew just from like the community of Milwaukee, like that's one of Milwaukee's godfathers right there. It feels like so.
Ooh, that's some gangster shit. I like that.
So as once the film was done, I connected with a organization called the League that we hired on to do our impact campaign for the film. And that just means that they created a strategy for us to use the film in Milwaukee and nationwide to elevate conversations about gun violence and intervention, prevention, mental health, the juvenile system, just all type of things. And I joined that team, and now I'm working with them on the impact of the film. And so as we were doing that, even when I was in the middle of making the film, I was like, Ajamu got to see this. He could probably use this in his work. Like, how can we, connect with him? Sorry, I'm not a great multitasker. Yeah, Claude went to tech as well. That's interesting. So yeah, so from there I connected with Ajamu, and we just been, connected for years now at this point. And he's just really been helping a lot on the impact, and we love what he's doing. So we are always like, how can we support you? He's always like, how can I support you? And that led to, us being one of the vendors at the block party. So
And
definitely,
not just a vendor, they're a partner. They're
yeah.
responsible. They believe in Heal the Hood, and so they financially support us in other ways as well. Yes.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So definitely come check out our table. We'll have some free ice cream. We'll have some coloring pages for the kids. You can come talk to Claude. You can come sign up to tell your story of gun violence. We got a lot of stuff moving and shaking over there. And beyond that, there are, I'll let him talk about it, but there are over 60 vendors. You know what I'm saying? Like they just it's amazing. So for sure, come out. There's something for everybody. And that's kind of how, we've been locked in, and that's kind of my role.
Welcome to the show and welcome to Heal the Hood. I'm glad that he got you aboard. My
Yeah.
sister, Mrs. Carney, I've heard your role before, but it's always entertaining to hear it again. So
Well,
let's talk about your
Here she go. Here she
here,
go.
here we go. Listen, you don't get a preacher the microphone because you know what the preacher gonna do. She gonna preach. So I am serving in a dual capacity with Heal the Hood MKE this year. I am the Grand Marshal of the prayer walk, which is happening immediately before Heal the Hood. So The Bible says in Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, that if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. So we are talking about healing the hearts, healing the homes, healing the hoods, and we can't do that unless we call on the Creator to intercede and do that for us. And so we have linked up not only with the Christian community, but with the Muslim community, and with some other faith-based organizations. And we are just going to saturate that place on the morning with prayer. We will walk and pray. And then we will all come together in solidarity and call on the heavens in order to have like a supernatural visitation and habitation. I also am serving as the coordinator of all of the children activities. So we will have the Heal the Hood Healing Corner, where we will have an even safer space for children to be able to get face paint, haircuts. They'll be able to participate and learn how to double dutch. We're gonna have a little cans tournament going on, hula hoops, the whole nine. And so that's the role that the two roles that I'm serving in this year.
All right. And I wanted that prayer walk. That prayer walk is something that I'm interested in that. I want to know. I want to know about how that's gonna go. But I want to make sure my outlaw comrades ain't sitting on their microphones. Y'all good, man? How y'all doing, man? My brother Rel, my brother Mr. Carter, what's going on?
Good, just enjoying myself listening.
Yeah, everything good. You know,
Okay.
just here. As soon as I hear something I want to talk, I'm jumping in. But you know, it's their time to shine, man. We letting them pop off here the hood, man, so the people can know what's happening.
That's what's up. I just want to make sure this ain't like Ray when he was doing Georgia and Dude said, "What about us?" and was rubbing his arm and shit. Yeah, what about us?
I'm enjoying myself listening, just taking inventory of everybody I might want to reach out to and work with for, my emotional intelligence teaching and book and things like that.
There we go. One of the most important things we can do, and people say it's just a podcast or it's just a cultural festival or whatever, but the most important thing we can do is network with each other. When we run across each other, when we encounter each other, we can network. And if we figure out that we can all do something and contribute to the big picture, it will move better. So I'm always happy to have people who represent black businesses and, like I said, anything positive to promote. I'm with it. Prayer. I'm gonna talk about prayer in light of what we're going through. And like I heard the brother say it doesn't matter when it's what color the people are who get murdered, which is very true. But I think it hurt me a little bit more to know that black people were intentionally targeted in one of these incidents, elderly black people in particular. So it's enough to make me want to react in a certain way. But so you said prayer. And so I wanted to talk about what inspired you to say, okay, you know what we need to do right now, especially in our community, because we know right now some people in our community don't necessarily embrace religion or prayer. So what inspired you to want to put that in there?
What we know at Heal the Hood is that we are a created being, right? And so we have a creator. And really, to be quite honest with you, the state of this world cannot be fixed by those who inhabit it, right? And so we need to tap to a power that is much greater than us. I mean, God is our creator. God knows everything that's going on here. And if we do not solicit God's guidance, God's leadership, and God's assistance in this, we are destined to fail. And I'm not talking, and I'm talking kingdom. Please understand and hear me. I'm talking kingdom. So know that we have called on several faith communities to join in solidarity because we need all of the voices flooding the heavens in order for us to have an atmosphere shift, for us to have real change. And so that scripture that I quoted talks about prayer, but it also talks about recognizing who we are. If my people who are called by my name. So we first have to recognize who we are and whose we are, would humble themselves. So we have to understand that we cannot do this on our own. It says that turn from their wicked ways. like Brother Ajimu said, listen, this country was founded. The system is working, people. This is how the system was designed. And those are the wicked ways of which we need to turn from. But if we don't acknowledge that, if we don't reveal, we can't heal. So we have to turn from those wicked ways. We have to seek God's face. We have to seek some divine intervention because let's be honest, we have been attempting to try this. We've been out in the streets marching. We've been petitioning our lawmakers for policies. We've been talking about, gun bans, and we've been talking about mental health and wellness and defunding the police and things of that nature. We've been out here doing the work and we have failed mightily. Why? In my opinion, is because we have not solicited the leadership of the Creator. And then it says, then once we do all of those things, so we have to do all of them.
Preacher.
We have to do all of them. So it's not just praying. It's not just marching in the streets. It's not vowing to do things. It's not standing up talking about, I realize that I'm a Black queen and I can change the world. It is all of those things. And once we complete the checklist that's in Second Chronicles, then will God hear us. Then will the land be healed.
Can I interject for two and a half seconds, if I may? 2.5 seconds, because I can't really come after the preacher lady like that. But one thing I love about Heal the Hood is the balance that we bring to the table. We got partnerships with people like Santana who are working with us on a more statistical level, on a data level, really, you know what I'm saying, on a more educational level and dealing with the crime and things of the nature out here. But then we also fighting them spiritual demons. We bring in people like Jamila who can help us to structure a spiritual support system to help us mentally and things. The mental health component is going to be super present at Heal the Hood. So the resources that we disseminate is going to be ridiculous. And I just wanted to throw that I love the blend that we have on the call right now with resources, spiritual and practical.
Yeah, and I was going. I appreciate it too, and that's why I asked her to kind of like expound on the whole thing about the prayer walk because that caught my ear. Because we have an ongoing debate on my show all the time about what role does, and I don't like to use the word religion because it sets people off, but I want to say spirituality, and we talking about our relationship with a higher power. It's a hot button topic in the community. I extended my show one time by damn near 45 minutes because I kind of approached the topic and I got everything from Black people in the audience from it ain't no God, is Satan in charge to, I mean, it was unbelievable. And I was like, man, because I'm a PK. I grew up in the Baptist church on the wooden pew. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's out the window now. My grandmother would have been whooped everybody's ass in here. Well, it's very important for me to, and we go back and forth with it, but I appreciate her. I appreciate that as well. And I want to ask my sister, she mentioned film work. So is there any kind of, who's documenting what you're doing? Because I think this would be a hell of a documentary to kind of box up, right? And not for nothing, just so people can see it.
So nobody's, I guess, necessarily documenting what we're doing for the film. We're documenting it in our own way, of course. Like if you go to the website www.whenclawgotshot.org, you can find out more about the film, more about where to see it, more about what we're doing. We definitely connected with some people in Milwaukee to tell their individual stories of gun violence. So we have a digital series coming called When Blank Got Shot. And you just fill in the name of the person that story you're telling. So we have some different things in the works. We got some different events and stuff that we're doing. We actually have an event, shameless plug in the words of Ajamu. We have an event coming up tomorrow night at the Oriental. So if you guys want to see the film before you come out to the block party to interact with our booth and everyone else's booth, come out tomorrow at the Oriental 6:30. It's free. It's a free screening of When Claude Got Shot. Claude will be there. The woman Victoria will be there. Arnita from Office of Violence Prevention, Simone from Office of Violence Prevention will be there talking about mental health and gun violence afterwards in a panel. So definitely come out and watch the film before the block party. And like I said, you can go to the website, whenclawgotshot.org to learn more about what we're doing. You can go to the league.org to learn more about what
I thought you were actually documenting Heal the Hood. Like, so
No,
I was thinking
no,
like you were like making you was gonna be the one with the DVD that we could buy. Do people still buy DVDs?
no, they do not.
I mean, you gotta get like you could stream it, I guess. You know,
No,
what
no,
the kids
no. So
say.
we made a film. We made a documentary of like a gun violence situation that happened in Milwaukee, and we're using the
I know I
film.
got that part. I got that part. I
Yeah,
just
no. So
I
I'm
think he's
not.
getting away. He's speaking life into He's speaking life into that thing. That
Yeah,
documentary on his way.
maybe
Be on his way.
maybe
Yeah,
that's the future endeavor
yeah.
right there. But no, we're not filming at the Hill the Hood.
oh,
No.
I thought y'all was all gonna be starers. My fault. My fault. We should have put in a RFP for that, Kamar, because we could have handled that business. We could have got Ghetto May who do all my video work. Yeah, man, we could have got that done. See what
I'm sure to
networking
be some
do?
news stations there though, right? Getting a little bit of
He's
coverage.
losing a little bit there, and
Yeah.
Shane another Shane. And I don't even like saying shameless plug, but we throwing a plug in there. Santana's husband Roger is actually our official photographer for the event, Mode Media. So he'll be there, helping to document everything. And so we definitely gonna capture it real good. We'll get it together.
Okay.
Thank you, Facebook user, for putting that in the chat for me. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to figure out how to do it, but I was over here like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
And I don't know. I bet you that person has a real name. I don't know why they could because
I'll
people
put that in the chat. I don't know why they shaded me like that. I'm
Facebook
that guy.
user. Ain't nobody named Facebook user.
Me.
You didn't give StreamYard rights to use your name, Ajamu. So you just Facebook user
That's cool.
tonight.
That's clear to me. That's clear. That's cool. I'll take that.
Yeah. They didn't ask me shit. Well, no, I paid for it. But Sair, as he said, yes, they do. I thought they didn't too. He's laughing. I see Jamila Kearney. But no, I'm just reading the chat room. Y'all never mind me. I read out loud. I'm slow.
documentary on the way.
I went to NPS. But okay, so we're talking about young people, right, in the city. And one of the conversation is what exactly the hell do we do with these young people? Now I'm a man of a certain age. I'm 46 years old. I'm very proud of that because they said I wouldn't live past 19.
Oh
But
wow.
I feel like our generation, we kind of boo-booed down our leg when it came to parenting our children. And I'm speaking for black men because I had, during the time when our relationships weren't what they should have been with our women. When a lot of us had to go off to prison or got killed or was doing whatever we did. And so I feel like as black men, we kind of let our youngsters down. So I'm saying, now how do we get this back? How do we reel them in? And I'm not excluding the black woman, so I don't want y'all to jump out the window. First of all, you got that. I know. I'm talking about. I mean, all of us collectively. How do we get these young people together in Milwaukee? Stolies, drugs, shooting. How do we get them? How do we get them back?
Can we pivot that to Sister Carney? And the only reason I asked, I know not only does she have a limited time with us, but I always stress the fact that she is a wife and a mother to three phenomenal young black boys. And discipline is a thing, spirituality is a thing, respect is a thing. And so I think she might give us a unique perspective on that game, if you may.
Well, to be quite honest with you, when we look at when we grew up, I'm not much younger than you, Kevin. I'll be 43 this year, right? So
Okay.
when we look at when we were 13, 14, 15, we had Mill Road theaters. We had the Grand. We had Skate University and Butler. We had Northridge and Grand Avenue and Southridge and Mayfair. And Bayshore wasn't even a mall that we went to. There was the Warning League. There was NPS Rec at night. There was the Boys and Girls Clubs that had parties every Friday. All of these things have been stripped of the community. These children are balls of energy and they need outlets to release them. However, the creative and constructive ways in which we were able to release our energy in the 80s and 90s have been stripped from these young people. So what do you expect? Now, I am a wife and a mother. I do have a house full of men. There's a lot of testosterone in there. My kids are involved in everything. They are excellent students. They are martial artists. They are student athletes. They have jobs. And I think that we just need to find ways to creatively allow these young people to have outlets. And listen, I'm going to just be honest with you. Grand Theft Auto was not allowed to be played in my house until you got a certain age, because I think that there's a maturity level that you need to have in order for you to be able to handle these things. So we got these kids 5, 6, 7 years old playing Grand Theft Auto. they playing what's the shooting game? I don't even know because my
Call of
Call of
Duty.
Duty.
Yeah.
There's Call of Duty, and then Fortnite really romanticized killing people. Let's talk about it. So we talk about the Stolies out here and the Kill Boys. It's just Grand Theft Auto Live. I've sat and watched this game being played, and the whole objective is to steal cars, crash them, jump out them, and get in other ones. Like there are missions attached to it. And when we are balancing what is fantasy, excuse me, to what is reality, we have a problem. Now, my children are not sheltered. They listen to the music of the day. They are involved on social media, but what I do is have a conversation with my children, and my children understand what is fantasy, what's reality, and then what's reality at the Carney household, because what's real out there in those streets is not necessarily real in my home. And so in order for us to reclaim our youth, we have to reclaim the spaces where they can have positive outlets for their energy.
Okay, and so a couple points there, and I know you got to go because you know we'll be talking all night. So you just let me know when you got to bounce.
Will
Totally
do.
understand. But I'm saying like I have two of my own who are pretty much law-abiding citizens themselves, right? Like, and so my wife and I have done a very, very, very intentional job of trying to direct our children in a positive direction. But once again, I want to reach these kids that are not those kids that don't have a me or you or my wife or a Kamar or Real, because it's black fathers on the panel. First of all, let that be known. Bunch of black fathers on the panel, real fathers, accountable fathers, right? So I want to make sure that I'm worried because it seems to be that the kids that don't have this or don't have something fundamentally, I don't know what it is because I don't know what's going on in their households, are these are the kids that we seem to really need to get a hold of because they are the ones that's kind of like bringing this element. And I don't want to blame them. And when I say bring this element, I mean this energy. They come with this kind of energy, and it just becomes a problem. So yeah, I hear what you're saying about the discipline and keeping kids involved and all that kind of stuff. I just want to know, how do we get to these ones that's long shots? How do we get to the ones that's on the fringes right now that could still be saved, but they need some immediate straightening?
You gotta you I know Ajabu gonna get at this one, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. We have to meet these children where they at and acknowledge them. All they really need is some love and some respect. And once you acknowledge, love, and respect these children, you can talk them down. I'm in the schools. Ajamu was in the schools, and we have to have real relationships. We're not trying to, in a way, they look at us as the savior, and we're not trying to be the savior. That's like us, like when the whites came over to Africa saving us, like we're trying to impose our will on them, and that's not necessarily what we need to be doing. We need to hear these children's stories and meet them where they are, and sometimes it's a hug, sometimes you got to get real close up in their face and let them know I ain't the one, but you have to let them know that you aren't the one or the two, but you are there to help and assist. And once they realize you build genuine relationship with them, they will do anything and everything, because all they crave is that love and attention. That's what's absent. And if we could put more love and attention out here, I think that we can save, for lack of a better term, these young people. Ajabu?
I'm gonna pass it to one of the other brothers. I teach and preach on this shit so hard. Don't play with me.
Hey,
I'm passing to one of the other
I'm
brothers.
under nobody's restrictions, so you got free reign. You do what you do, man.
You
Already,
guys here
that
to
for a
listen to
reason.
the brothers.
I mean, I've worked with young people for the better part of 20 years. So I've been in the schools. I've been in every social service agency in this city, from everywhere from a regular staff person to a manager to a director type role. And so I do understand when you provide a lot of these kids some consistency and some structure, they will kind of respond to it and say, okay, Mr. Barnes, what you want me to do? I got you. I hear you. But then there's still that element that will look at me quickly and say, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm just not trying to hear it. And you could say, I hear you, whatever, whatever. And then once again, those are the kids that we're losing, those boys, and they bringing others with them. They taking
Let me
other.
dive in on this.
Yeah,
Cause
go
I
ahead.
ain't gonna lie.
Jump
I
in.
ain't gonna lie, like, cause we done been in the hood, we done been in the ghettos ministering, and with literature, and trying to love on the brothers and shit. And I can remember brothers specifically tell, like, we don't give a fuck about that hill to hood shit. I'm just trying to tell you what they told me. This our hood, you know what I'm saying? This our shit. Now, don't none of them own the block, don't none of them own the house, motherfucker don't own the car they drive, and I understand, but this they hood. And we respectfully so, all right, say no more, big brothers. Listen, y'all brothers be safe out here, man. We praying for you brothers. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? And we keeps it moving. We keeps it moving
Mm-hmm.
because we ain't dummies as we doing the work. Again,
Right.
we know that we cannot save everybody, but
Right.
I've been on this kick. I've been on black boys in my life. I've been on their ass lately. I swear to God, my sons, my nephews, my young brothers I work with in the group homes and the school systems and whatnot, because there's just a certain level of real life discipline that we lack. There's a certain level of challenging young brothers. See, young brothers get in these streets and they get a little bit of clout on social media and whatnot, and nobody challenges them when they on bullshit, right? So it could be the simplest thing as we were doing a restorative circle one time in one of the classrooms in one of the schools I work in, right? Now you come to these two young brothers, they too cool for school, they don't want to participate in the conversation. Okay, not a problem. The conversation moves forward. But now while everybody else talking, they want to interrupt the circle and get key on the side. I say, hey, listen. Y'all ain't gotta have nothing to say. But what y'all not gonna do is disrespect the circle. Now when we gave y'all time to say something, you didn't have nothing to say. But now y'all want to play in everybody's face. Shut the fuck up
Mm-hmm.
and listen and observe if you ain't gonna add nothing positive to the conversation. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in situations where I've had to tell parents straight up, like, listen, your son is playing in my face, and I'm not gonna play with him. I'm about to handle him rough, and I'm not even asking permission, nor am I asking for forgiveness. I'm letting you know that I'm finna handle him rough because it's necessary in this moment. And they be
Right.
like, go ahead. So I think we got to start handling these young brothers. I ain't trying to say we got to go out here and whoop everybody and yell at everybody. However, there is a certain level of authority and direction that these young brothers need, and sometimes you gotta put it
Right.
on them. Young black boys are meant to be warriors, kings, leaders, providers, ministers, and things like healers and shit like that. We can't play with black boys, not in 2022.
I totally agree. And one policy that I've always had when I work with young people is I'm the grown up in the room, and that's the way it is. It ain't no compromising that. It ain't no negotiating it. And you gonna respect me like a grown up should be respected. And I'm not even threatening you. I'm just letting you know, like I'm gonna beat your ass, not because I'm not gonna beat your ass, but I'm not gonna deal with you, right? Until you get
Mm-hmm.
the line right, you won't have access to me. I don't waste my time. So I totally agree. But yeah,
Can I,
man.
can I jump in real quick?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
I'm definitely not. I just turned 30 last week. Okay,
Okay.
and I just when I used to work with kids, it was children on the spectrum of autism, and I'm just now getting into the realm of working with Black youth who are troubled, I guess you can say, and that comes with the fact that, like I said, I'm doing impact on a film where we are targeting young Black children and parents and things like that to talk about what's happening in Milwaukee specifically. So I could definitely say I know Ajamu and Jamila, y'all been doing this for a minute, and you know what I'm saying. I know I can't speak to this as well as y'all can, but what I've learned so far is exactly what them two have been saying. Um, and I know somebody in the comments has said, like, what happened to all the stuff that used to be here when y'all were younger and stuff. And from what I've heard, tons of stuff just got shut down. Like one person make a wrong mistake, they shut it down. And I've heard people say through this process of our impact campaign that Milwaukee hates kids. Like they don't give kids second chances here. They
Mm.
fuck up once, it's taken away. And now the kids don't have nothing else to do but steal cars, kind of thing. So a lot of what Jamila was saying, as far as like we need things that are free, that are in the inner city for kids to do, or free or affordable in the inner city for kids to do. I live in Greenfield right now. I didn't always live in Greenfield, but there's tons of shit to do over here. But that's not the case for kids on the north side. You know what I mean? So my son always got stuff to do over here. And he could go outside and play safely if it ain't nothing to do. We got a pool at our at our apartment. You know what I mean? Like, he got stuff to do, but that's not the case for every kid. I also wanted to comment on her saying that like you got to meet them where they are, because outside of the impact campaign that I work on, I also teach a film class to children at St. Charles in one of their
Oh,
programs. And
yes,
I was
sir.
I was nervous as hell going into that program because I had went and showed them the film, and it was a group of kids there who scared me. Okay, I was in there like, oh God, I don't know. Like they were not trying to hear what I was saying. They was like, fuck this film, fuck what you talking about. He should have shot him. He should have did it better than this. Like they were trying to give the criminal in the movie like more pointers on how to be a criminal. And I was just like so nervous about this. But when I started, I think I got some advice from, I don't remember, it might have been Shalina Ali from True School, to just meet them where they are. And when I did that, I came in like, I'm not here to be your parent. I'm not here to be rah, 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 you gonna listen to me. Like, and I know that works for some people and it has to work for some people and it works in different environments with different kids and blah, blah, blah. But for me, number one, I'm a woman. So I got to come with some different energy. I had to try to tap into like my motherly instincts. I had to come in there like, listen, I'm here to teach y'all film. We here as a film crew. I'm not here to be your teacher. I'm not here to force you to do some shit you don't want to do. If you having a bad day, let me know. It's okay. You ain't gotta listen. You ain't gotta participate today. You can sit in the corner and just listen. You know what I mean? And after I started to meet them where they were, again, like Jamila said, sometimes they just need a hug. Sometimes they need to listen to ear, and it might not always hit. You know what I'm saying? You might not. Some kids, because teenagers in general are hard head. We all been there. We all been hard head. We all been know it all. We all been all of that stuff. So it's not necessarily about always like changing certain children. Sometimes it's about just being a responsible adult who cares about them in that moment and being there for them. So when they are ready to change, maybe you're one of the people they can come to and get advice from, or like, you know what I mean, for them to confide in. So that's what I've learned so far, just to kind of piggyback off what was already said.
I do want to say I worked at St. Charles for about 7 years, everywhere from residential treatment through the shelters, through a wraparound care coordinator, and you should have been scared because I had several kids at St. Charles. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And this is going somewhere. I worked in a focus program in which we kept kids out of Lincoln Hills and Wales when they were closing Ethan Allen, and these kids were adjudicated teenage felons. And we had 2 units of them, and they put them through this whole system, juvenile probation and everything. And in about 5 years of me working there, out of probably about 150 boys, at least 7 of them are dead right now, and at least 5 of them went on to commit murder and get grown people time. Right. So so I'm telling you, the element that you're dealing with out there is serious. So when them kids is acting out like that, you got to pay attention. Now I said all that to say this. I work with youth. I totally understand all of this because yeah, we want to love them, we want to hug them. But there's absolutely, I done seen people, kids when they ain't around. When I worked, I was a special ed teacher for MPS. Like I said, I worked at St. Charles. I know what your kids act like when you ain't there. And some of these kids flat out need an ass whooping.
Oh
And
yeah.
you try to talk to them,
Yeah.
and you want to say, brother, I love you, and you want to give him leeway, and he'll you turn around that knife because that's all he or she knows. And so they'll hit you, they'll use you, they'll do whatever they got to do. So I'm saying it's a little bit deeper for me. I believe in meeting them where they at, but where they at is somewhere I don't want to go. They might need to meet me halfway. Go ahead, brother.
Because I swear to God, because when you talk about the social emotional development of Black boys, we got to be very particular, right? So I love the idea of meeting them where they're at. Like Santana said, if a young brother's having a bad day, I would rather him take a moment, you know what I'm saying, or just, lay his head down, if you will, versus disrupt the class. However, nowadays I'm taking that shit a step further. Okay, listen, little man, little John, little Mookie, I understand you having a bad day, but there's 24 hours in a day. We're not going to let your situation that happened for 30 minutes earlier today impact everything we got going on later on. So now I'm starting to teach young Black boys emotional control.
Right.
Your feelings, control your thoughts, control your actions. You understand what I'm saying? I just was coaching a young brother. They dealing with some DV situations, him and his girlfriend, some kids that I mentor with. And I talked to both of these young people parents, and I said, that's not an area I play in. And when I talked to that young brother, I got on I let him get everything off his chest he needed to, right? And I get it. Okay, I know how young love is. I understand, tensions be high, I get all of that. When all that shit is said and done, nephew, you keep your fucking hands to yourself. You move around unless she beating on you, throwing something at you. Because I'm not just gonna sit here and say, as a man, we don't have a right to defend ourselves or protect ourselves or eliminate threats to our well-being and whatnot. However, we taking this thing a step. Control yourself. I always teach. I'm gonna shut up from here. I always teach my young brothers, and I'm pushing on their heads nowadays. A man who can control himself is more powerful than a man who can control the city, control himself. You hear me? For real, for real. That's what I'm teaching these young boys. I don't play with them. And so to take it a step further, that's what I said I was just going to shut up, but this is what I'm passionate about. At Heal the Hood, we've had scenarios where we deal with young people who come out there on bullshit, right? They come out there on bullshit, but there's such an overwhelming force of righteousness. It's like, young dog, you got 15 Black men right here. You got 20 Black women over there. You really don't want to deal with the women. You don't want to deal with the brothers, but you don't want to deal with the mothers over there either. You can do whatever dumb shit you're trying to do, or you can go home and take a nap, or straighten up your attitude and get back acclimated with the block party. But yes, you're right, big brother. Sometimes we got to address these young niggas in the ghetto with straight drop fearlessness because they warriors. They've been desensitized to murder, to violence, so on and so forth. So it ain't no, some of these cats, there is no encouraging, right? I'm gonna shut up because I teach and preach. Oh my mama, I teach and preach. Prophet Muhammad, when he came to teach Islam to the people, it's my last point. I swear to God, they just mute me after this because I teach and preach on this whole show. Prophet Muhammad, when he come to the Muslims to teach Islam, he come with the Quran in one hand and a sword in the other hand. Either you're gonna take the righteousness or you're gonna have to deal with the sword, but we still gonna hit you with the righteousness on the back end. We've forgotten about that sword that needs to get laid down. But this comes from, again, we got to put that village thing into effect. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna mute my damn self.
No, I love you, Ajamu. I love listening to you talk, dog. I swear to God, I'm over here like, I know that's right. You better preach. Like, all of
I
that.
like the thing you said about the emotional control, because when I say meet you where you at, I'm saying it ain't that I'm talking about that you mad, because I know you're mad, but I want to know why you're mad, and I want you to understand why you mad. So when I say that anger, it ain't about, look, I know you're having a bad day. Why don't you just go over there and cool down? No. We're gonna go a little bit deeper and say, first of all, who kicked you in your ass this morning when you got up? What's wrong with you? What you come up? This is my space. So now I don't want to talk about it. Yes, you do, or you wouldn't be acting like this in my space. Now, since you violated my shit, you owe me that conversation, this is how it's approached these young men. So I'm saying we need some situations where we can put some tough love into effect, because I feel like we give them crutches. And we say, well, they growing up in this system, and the prison school pipeline, and the government, you put the crack in the community. We say we use slaves and all this shit. We, instead of saying, you need to go in that classroom, sit your ass down and shut up. You do not know more than no adult. Stop talking back to grown people. You disrespectful. You need to stop. Like, we need to come at these kids and let them really know, hey man, we mean business. Because the one thing my mother used to say to me is, if you don't listen to what I say, then the police gonna whoop your ass one day. But I'd rather whoop your ass, because I'm gonna do it out of love. They're not gonna do it out of love. So this is why that was how she explained whoop my ass, which I don't know. Had to, but I just think we need to implement some tough love tactics. So with Heal the Hood, is there an effort to kind of like bring some of the young men in? Like, do they get a chance to come in and work? Like, give you a job, y'all want to sweep up and work your way up like an internship, and be able to then go out and help you go into the community and get other young brothers on board. Go ahead, my sister.
So listen, 1 year, this was last year. Me and my sons were doing a martial arts demonstration, and there were a couple of young men that was rah, this boom bop, right? And so in the middle of the demonstration, they wanted to make a mockery of what me and my children were doing. Flip that script on them and say, oh, y'all want to be part of the demonstration? Y'all come on up. And so made them part of the martial arts demonstration. Asked them young brothers what their name was. Just like I said, Adrian, show me a front kick. Brother Mookie, show me a side kick. Like, we at the Heal the Hood, listen, if you want to come and be part of the healing that's taking place in the hood, we got you. Like, we're gonna give you something to do. But at the same time, if you are coming to with strife, listen, we got the people that would help you to strife outside of what we're doing, because we're creating healing space. So if you're not there to heal the space or get healing in the space, then you have to find other space.
I just want to take that 2.5 steps further, if I may. Like, I got the lawn care business and I got my snow removal business. That's primarily ran, or, the muscle primarily comes from young men that I mentor throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? And, it ain't designed to make them young brothers rich. It's designed to give them some shit to do on the weekends. We put cash money in their hand, and anytime they in the van with me and we out here trapping, we chopping game up. We don't listen to Lil Chief keeping in. Like, I use that time very strategically. And sometimes they might want to dart off into other conversations. I'll bring that shit right back in. Hey, y'all, we focus on this cheese right now in these yards. Like, we can talk about everything else when our shift in. Women, fun, music, blah, blah, blah. But when y'all with me, it's all business. So, and again, I'm not working with 1,000 young brothers, but I'm not here to save 1,000 young brothers, right? That's not my goal. My goal is to work with what I can touch and to build from there.
Right.
If you're just tuning in, I got the brother Ajamu Butler. I said it right. From Heal the Hood, I got my sister, Mrs. Jamila Carney. I got my sister. I messed her name up now, so I'm like scared to say her name. Santana, my sister Santana. Y'all wouldn't believe I said Santana. Like that shit was just horrible, right? Like
Let's think it's Carlos Santana. I hate that comparison, but that's the easiest way to remember it. Carlos
right,
Santana.
right. Doing word association with my racist ass. Yeah, the show is Outlaw Radio, Consequences and Repercussions. Powerful words being spoken, talking about what we need to do, or what we possibly can do. Because I don't like to say we talking about what we need to do, because you don't know, we don't know everything, and it takes way more than a podcast, a couple hours and six people to fix what's wrong with this city. So if you got something to contribute, I want you to be able to call in, and the chat room is on deck. Samantha Collier is in there going ham for y'all all through. She shouted out, she said, yes, Jam, Ajamu Butler, the 10 toes. She said she love y'all. Farina Brooks has been giving y'all much love. Sarai Williams from the Pulse, I think that is. And did y'all get a chance to go on there? Because last time I know he was saying that he wanted to really hook up with y'all.
Wait,
No,
hey, since we live, I reached out to Brother Sair. He reached out. It's still time, Sair. Slide in my inbox. DM me. We still got time. Heal the
Right,
Hood, May
right,
28th, 12 to 5, 1st through 3rd on Wright Street. I'm gonna have to go, y'all. It's been a blessing. Y'all be good. I'm gonna tune in on Facebook.
Thank
Peace.
you, and thank you for
Yes,
coming.
Take care.
So, and I know y'all only got a little time left because we almost closing in on an hour, but you know, we the conversation could go on and on. I seen OVP have a call to action meeting, and see, I'm a pessimistic, so you got to forgive me because I see the same I see the same people, right? I'm sorry. Like y'all's the same people who met to have a meeting about having a meeting the last time we had some carnage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've seen all y'all before. Like, and it's the same kind of speech where you say you people in the community got to stand up. We got to. So I just was like, okay, what is this about? Go
but
ahead, brother.
I was gonna say, if I'm correct, if we think of the same meeting, it wasn't one of those type of situations. The OVP is putting some cheese out here in the streets, right? And they're recruiting people from the ghettos. They even hit me up asking the Vice Lord brothers. They hitting up the GDs and them. They hitting them niggas really in these trenches. Like, hey, listen, we're paying for 12 weeks, 20 hours a week, $20 an hour to do interruption and to, be on the grounds in communities that you're familiar with. So if you used to parlaying on Hampton, we're not gonna ask you to do work on Capitol or Burline. We're gonna ask you to parlay in the ghettos that you're familiar with. So it's really a dope ass initiative to get natural people, right? People who are not from the industries that we from, who've been doing the work or who are educated and healers and readers and teachers and whatnot. There's niggas from the block putting money in their hands. If you want to see change in your community, let's practically put something in your hand and then give you the resources to help, disrupt violence, interrupt, interventions and things like that.
But this has been their mission the whole time. That's been what they've been saying. That's what they were promised money from the mayor and from. I mean, we're gonna give y'all $8 million more. We're gonna give y'all more staffing. This has been their mission. That's what they've been saying. We're gonna go out and get the dudes from the community to operate in the community and prevent violence. And so it's been the same. It's been the same speech. When I listen to it, I've heard the same verbiage. I've heard the same thing. Now, there's no problem with that happening, but I'm saying do it. Just do it. Like we keep having these big ass meetings. Just do it. I hear you. It's a good idea. Go do it. Like, and it for so long we've heard it, and it has not had the effect that it should have had. If it has, then they can measure it off. They can measure it off. They have ways to kind of assess what they've been doing. But overall, in our community, I don't see it. I think we need to do something different. That's just my personal opinion of it. I'm just tired of speeches. That's all. I don't need no more speeches. I'm sorry. It's good. We're gonna give him $50, and we go, okay, just do it. Now, if you're gonna come to the meeting and say, I gave him, see all these 30 brothers behind me, I've been paying them for the last 6 months. This is what we've been doing. This is how we moving. Instead of saying, I'm gonna do it. Come talk to me after you've done it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I dig it.
That's just me being who I am. I'm a world class smart ass, right? And I got to keep it
Hey,
real.
it's like that saying when you hear somebody talking about me, don't tell me what they said, tell me what you said.
Right.
Show me
Exactly.
some action. Tell me about some action.
And that's not to put no damper on what you're doing, brother. And I don't want the people to
Oh no,
get
I ain't worried about that.
I have
And
to
I
call
ain't
out
gonna
the
lie,
leadership.
I got such an inside perspective on the game. Like I ain't, man. I see the work them niggas do. I see when them niggas pull up because of mama 15-year-old son that got bust down and shit like this. They just had some meetings. So again, I just got more of an inside perspective, right? And I'm gonna say this: I don't care if it's 200 people on the OVP team. Not near one of them 200 people is gonna stop, murders from happening. Not in this fucked up ass city. But however, they just been meeting with these young niggas. These young niggas like 16, 14, 15, 16. They call the pain bandits or something like that, right? And it's just a group of young ass shooters. That's what they do. That's what they known for. They don't hide that shit. They on social media with that shit. They working with niggas who will blow their cap back for coming in there talking about that peace talk. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand what you're saying. And I wish I would have seen, more momentum from organizations like Heal the Hood, OVP, all these other entities. But they working. They working with people who me and you talking about. We scared of them little niggas who was at St. Charles. They working with people who make them little boys look like Sunday school boys on my mama. Straight up.
And I'm shout out to Ray Mendoza and my boy Tay. Tay is family for sure. Tay is one of the fellas, Capital Drive for real. T's and fees. And so, but what I'm saying is, yeah, they're doing. I'm not saying they're not doing work. I'm saying they fighting a losing battle. It's an impossible war. Because if you really wanted to help us, there's some measures that you could take. If you really, I won't even say help us because that sounds like we're victims. I want to say if you want to really make this community what it was and re-empower Black people, you got to go to some poverty prevention tactics and some poverty prevention techniques. It's cool to blow $8 million over here for a tax write-off, but that money could be invested in something that can have economic value, something that's going to really get the Black dollar flowing back through the community. So I'm saying it's not their fault. I bet you they come to work with their ears pinned back every day. I've been in social services for 20 years. So I know you come to work like I'm going to do my part today. That's what we do as social service professionals. What I'm saying is sometimes you have to realize they got me out here on some bullshit. They got me out here on some losing. I'm fighting a losing cause, and they're gonna work me until my energy is gone, and then I'm gonna be put on the shelf, and this shit will continue. So I'm just calling a spade a spade. Now, Sarai says, I remember when everyone was critical of OVP, but as soon as they got control of the money, everybody fell in love with them. You know, and my brother, I have a very internal perspective too. I've been inside. That's why I say I know social workers who go hard in the paint. She gonna do all her visits today. I worked in schools where the teachers worked very hard. They worked hard as hell. But what was the product that they was working with? Right? Like, and so you can't make a diamond out of a goddamn piece of plastic. Shape it like one and shine it up, but you can't, I mean, come on. I'm just saying, like, it frustrates me.
I definitely, I feel what you said. Of course, I feel what Ajibu was saying. And like from our earlier conversation before we hopped on live, like one of the things I wanted to say from the last thing you were saying, Kevin, was like, I definitely feel like Milwaukee is like, I forgot the Tiana Taylor song, but something like a rose in the concrete kind of thing. There's so much bad shit happening here, and it just like overshines everything else. I get it. I understand it. I cannot deny it. But I also feel like, especially as I became an adult, especially as I started to really get into the community with my work more, I'm starting to see we got so many gems in people and businesses and like things happening and shit like that. Again, Ajibu, like this a nigga, you got to give his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to give him his flowers. You got to give Vaughn his flowers. You got to give Khalil his flowers. You got to give Shalina and Fidel their flowers. Like all these people, and I'm not leaving out nobody purposely, but I'm just naming a few people off the top of my head. Like not only people, but then you got to give Sherman Phoenix their flowers. You got to give this business over here they flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different people and entities in Milwaukee that are moving. And although the change might not be super huge, that it's so big, it's on the news and everybody's seeing it and everybody talking about it and it's just amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because even with Hill to Hood, like maybe it's just the circle I run in or the realm I'm in, but I see Hill to Hood every fucking where, even when I'm not talking to Ajimu. You know what I'm saying? And it could be just because of how big it is, or it could just be because, like I said, the circles I run in, that's just the type of stuff I'm gonna see. But even when you ain't seeing it, some things are happening, you know what I mean? And even when it's not making the biggest impact, like millions of people or 100,000 people in Milwaukee, if you make it an impact in one community at a time, one kid at a time, you know what I'm saying? Eventually we're going to get there. But, and I say all that with respect to everything you said. I totally get you and I feel you and I understand your perspective. That's just my perspective. And I guess that's kind of why I'm optimistic about the city, is because I see the shit that's being done. And although it ain't changing overnight like we want it to and like we feel like it should, and although this shit been happening for way too long, You know what I'm saying? I do. If I sit here and be like, it ain't never gonna change, ain't nothing gonna happen, I'll be in a depressed fucking ball in the corner. That's just the type of person I am.
Right.
So I have to
Hey,
be optimistic.
can I throw this out there too? And I swear to God, I do not want to hog this conversation, but this is the shit that I live my life and I will die for behind this shit that we talking about on this microphone today. I can't remember which African general it was, and it'll come to me, help me, Father. But as he was riding off into battle, right, they was going against some Europeans and shit, and he had his wife on the horse next to him. And they said, King, what you bringing your wife into battle for? He like, listen, we're definitely lose this shit. He like, but I'm not leaving my wife back here for us to lose in the battlefield. And they come rape my wife and make her a slave and shit. So knowing we gonna lose, nigga, we all gonna fight. You understand? If I was to give up the fight, now I don't have a lot of optimism like Santana got about the future of Milwaukee. However, if I was to realize, and I do realize that the fight that I'm fighting, it may not be a winning fight. However, if I would have maintained that mentality, we wouldn't be here 10 years later talking about this Heal the Hood shit. So I know that every child, I work with hundreds of kids on a daily basis. I know that every one of their asses is not going to get a 4.0. I know that every one of their asses is not going to, you know what I'm saying, love themselves and be safe out here and not steal cars and do drugs and have unprotected sex and so on and so forth. But if I focus on that, I say this and I'm leaving. Muhib told me one day I was so fucked up because a couple of my people had got killed. And he was like, Heal the Hood. You got to realize, like, you lost a couple, but how many have we saved, bro?
Yes.
Like, how many the fuck have we saved? Like, I may have lost plenty kids this year in this graduating senior class that's going to go forward. They might, just poverty and life ills, and they make certain choices or they family environments, blah, blah, blah. I lost some, but on my mama, we finna have plenty graduates walking across that stage. So I just got to choose where I'm going to focus on. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
I do want to say this, though. I think this is where we get a little lost at, because you, Vaughn, Khalil, everybody who's out here doing something that has been doing something over the past 10 years, I don't think none of y'all even want no flowers right now. People say we got to give them their flowers. I think y'all do what y'all do out of y'all passion for the community. And I don't think any of you can look at the community and say my work is even a quarter of the way done. And that's why I say so it ain't about really taking nobody's, because everybody's, if you've been out, like they say, if you know, you know. I've seen you all over the city. We know what you do. We know what the people who are out here, we know who they are. But also say this. I said I was 46 earlier to tell you that these have been the same problems for 30 plus years. And so it's been many brothers who've come along in this community given. I mean, I'm from the generation of Mike McGee Sr., who was the man who was out here. So if you're talking about sacrifice and being out here in the community and putting it down, I come up in that generation with Warning basketball, and when the Running Rebels come about, all these brothers who were very passionate about, we're gonna get out here and we're gonna do this and we're gonna make sure our youth and we save people and we help the community. I'm not saying it didn't help hundreds of people. What I'm saying is, if we look at where Black Milwaukee is right now,
it's in a shitty state
it's ever been. So it's as if none of that even happened. So it's like we wasted all of this effort.
But no, big brother. What if we didn't do all that shit though? What if we did? It's fucked up right now, but what if Commander wasn't out here advocating? What if we stopped Heal the Hood after year 2 because one of my niggas got killed? You know what I'm saying? How much worse would it be?
Right.
So I feel you, blood. I hate to see. I told you I'm trying to move overseas in about 2 years. I'm gone. I'm not playing with Milwaukee. I'm fucking gone. But how much worse would the shit be if Kamar wasn't out here pushing herbs? How much, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a lot of people dying from cancer, but how many people have you seen benefit, from your products and things and that? So, that's just a part of the game, big bro. You win some, you lose. So, that shit cop and blood. That's what we say in the streets. You know that.
So I feel like we come up with a different plan then. If we get no results, we got to do it differently. Go ahead, Kamar. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just gonna say that, you know what I mean? It's really about consistency. You know what I mean? Look how many years it took for us to get this bad. We can't do just one thing and everything gonna be fixed.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got to be consistency. We all got to take it upon ourselves as individuals to work on ourselves first.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to learn how to love ourselves. A lot of the youth don't even know how to love, man. They ain't never been loved before.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So how they gonna have love for somebody else? You know what I mean? We got to figure out how to get everybody to find some love for themselves, and you know what I mean? And again, it's about being consistent. You know what I mean? It's got to carry over for years and years. We got to continue to do good because there's people that continue to do bad.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to somehow conjure up more good energy and put more of these good acts out here in the community.
And you
You know
know
what I'm
what?
saying? So
Oh
then
my
that
God.
way, some of these young brothers, they could see what love look like. They could see what it look like when you give a fuck about somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can see some brothers that don't get mad talking about, oh, I'm finna shoot this up, or these niggas finna get it. And you know what I mean? They can see some brothers that know how to talk to each other when it's a problem and air that shit out. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be consistent. We have to be examples out here. You know what I mean? We have to be the one. I mean, like some of us have chosen to be the light.
Right.
Shine.
Braille, you had something you wanted to add to that?
Oh yes, sir. I was just gonna say, man, that's real ass shit. I mean, all you can do is like when I was in church, the biggest thing about ministering was being a living epistle. You know what I'm saying? You have to be that example. So and the crazy shit, fam, real talk. As much shit as I post on Facebook about shadow work, self love, emotional intelligence, things like that, out of all the likes I get, I might get 5, 10 likes, right? But when I'm out here moving and grooving, I see cats I ain't seen in 10 years. And they're like, hey, real, you crazy as hell, fam. But tell me more about that shadow work.
That's
Or,
right.
or you know what I'm saying? People will call me through video, the video message. Hey, G, I just need some of your positivity and encouragement. Lay that on me, G. And it'd be like, damn, you don't like none of my shit. So if I was focused on like you, what I'm saying is you never know who you impacting just living your purpose. You know what I'm saying? And then in the midnight hour, they come to you for more information. You know,
They
hey,
definitely are.
real, I got anger problems, G. And I tell them, hey, fam, first off, I don't want you to feel bad about anger. Understand that anger is no different than your gaslight coming on. It's just the indication that something needs to be addressed. You can't get
That's
mad at that
good. That's
motherfucker coming
good.
on. You know what I'm saying? You just take that knowledge and go with it. So we have to just understand that we ain't gonna even know all the motherfuckers we impact. G, you know what I'm saying?
They watching.
Right, they watching, man,
They watching.
and it blow my mind. You know, people call me, hey, real, I just want you to see that I read your book and I got a mirror full of post-it notes about how to manage my attention, how to manage my perception, how to understand my emotions. And you be like, God damn, y'all sure don't be commenting on my shit. But
Right.
but at
Right.
the end of the day, I don't do it for the likes of comments. I wrote my book because if it could help one person who is where I was, and then I find out it's not only helping one person, it's helping people who don't like, don't comment, don't need. I done forgot they my motherfucking Facebook friend. But
I
when I
agree.
see them out while I'm moving and grooving, it's just that extra encouragement to keep walking my walk. Cause it's like, damn,
You know,
G, I
another
ain't even know.
issue,
Oh yeah, for sure, fam.
another issue we deal with is pride. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people in our community that's scared to come talk to you. You know what I mean? Or they may be embarrassed. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about what they're going through.
Right.
You
Yes,
know
sir.
what I'm saying? They don't want to tell nobody they depressed. It's some fucked up
Right.
shit in their life. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though, big bro? I think that's for me what makes my relation with young brothers nowadays so impactful as it is. Some days I'm up and I'm gonna celebrate the fuck out of that up. Some days I'm
Right.
down. I'm gonna let you know I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Right.
I think a lot of time in community development or in youth work, we want to show our kids, oh, you have to work hard and get good grades and
Mm-hmm.
get a fancy car and a big house on the hill and thing. But that's not success to everybody. Sometimes success is what we've been discussing: emotional control. Right?
Right.
Sometimes
Exactly.
success is being able to say, like, I'm having a fucked up day, but I know how to talk myself down. I know how to
Right.
redirect my focus. And I think that's what we have to get back to. Like, just like bro said, I love that analogy of the engine. Like, that don't mean the car is falling apart. It didn't blow up. It's not on fire.
Right.
Dress the thing at a mechanic, right? Let's get the tune up. Let's get the oil change and let's keep it moving.
Right.
We don't have to
Exactly.
park the car. We want when the check engine light come on, we want to throw the whole fucking car away and throw the keys over the bridge. That's
I, I,
thinking.
I still have to latch on to the fact that, and of course, I understand the value of consistency. I understand that there has to be people who continue to fight. But what I'm saying is, I think fundamentally, the way we've approached our empowerment and our liberation in this country is flawed. I
Mm-hmm.
think first of all, we depend on them and their funding to power our initiatives too much. And people say, how you gonna do it if it ain't for the man? Right? We depend ultimately, we depend on them to allow us to rebel. You gotta go get a goddamn permit if you want to protest. You gotta ask for permission to disagree. And I think we have gotten away from doing us. We've come to embrace all kinds of sidebar initiatives, and we've mixed up all kinds of other people's shit with ours, and we've lost sight of what we need to be campaigning for and how we need to be doing it. So I say we need to do it differently. And when I say that in Milwaukee, I mean we need different people in charge, because for too long the same people have been sitting at the same tables behind the same podiums. If you're listen, even in professional sports, if you got to lose, if your team lose for 3 seasons in a row, you get fired. You got players on watch here who've been losing for 20 years and ain't
Yeah,
been fired.
that's good. That's good. That's good right there.
We have to change our approach. We need to demand
That's
more from
good.
our leaders. The way we even elect people, we don't ask them. We don't demand a why. No, why should I vote for you? Nobody demanded that Mayor Johnson explain. He gave blanket statements. What you going? I seen the sister. Shout out to the sister from the news. She was grilling him on the debate. She said, "I want," and she did this for him and Peeping Bob Donovan, who he was running against. She said, "I want to know what you would do in the next 60 days to begin to curb violence. Give me a plan that you would do." Both of them dudes skirted around them that damn question. Neither one of them answered it. And we as voters didn't say, flag on the play. Bro, you got to answer that question. Why should I vote for you? If I say I believe black people should get reparations, then when somebody comes to me and says, I want to run for office, I ask them, what's your view on reparations? If you want my vote, then you need to be for the things that I want. We don't do that. And this is how we sit. We end up with sitting ineffective incumbents who sit there for 20 plus years, give themselves raises in the midst of a time when black people, damn near 40% of the people in the city of color, live below the poverty line. These motherfuckers have given themselves raises. We're triple the homicide where we were. We've broken a record that stood for almost 30 years, and those were my formative years in 1991 and 92 at the height of the crack epidemic when we smashed that Hami record. All right, that's my teenage years, so I know what it was like on the streets. We done smashed that record going on 3 years in a row now. And we got the same people still standing behind the same podiums talking about, well, we're going to give a little bit of money over here. We're going to give him a bag of weed, give him some beer, give him some night drink, some Mad Dog 2020. I'm sick of the bullshit. Enough is enough, man. Let's flush the toilet. And the toilet is City Hall. Let's flush it. See, we ain't got no friends on Outlaw Radio for a reason. I'm glad you down with us, brother. I'm glad I'm glad you part of the family. But a lot of people don't want to come on here because they don't want to talk turkey. Okay, and real like flowing campaign speeches and spouting cliches to black people, that ain't what we actually even need right now. We don't need no speech. We got how many speeches do we need? We got quotes up the ass. The average black person can quote about 30 different people. Well, like so and so said. Well, like you know what they used to say back in Tennessee. We good for that shit. We're griots, we're storytellers, we're entertaining. We never let the truth get in the way of a great story. But at the end of the day, our community is in shambles. This community, this black community we live in, is horrific, and we are on the precipice of gentrification. Okay. We are allowing this administration right now to propose giving half of this COVID relief money to creating low income housing in the suburbs. Meanwhile, you're protecting downtown. I don't know if you know who lives in all those luxury high rise apartments downtown, right? Those is white folks. And those are the gentrifiers, if you will. They will be the ones to spread. You got the project sitting 5 minutes away from the goddamn Fiserv Center. That ain't gonna stand. Their plan for gentrification is in effect, and our mayor is complicit. And those who are down there, if you down there with this regime right now, you're complicit as well. I apologize. I should be shining. Heal the hood. I am sorry. I apologize.
Hey,
Woosah.
it's all to the good. Heal the hood, shine light on all that shit. I'm right there with you, beloved. I was born and raised in the ghettos and the slums of Milwaukee. So I hear is that the same motherfuckers when I was a little young dog? Is the same motherfuckers running around talking that same shit now? So my prayer is just that, and I got to get ready to log off myself. But
All right,
my
brother.
prayer is that these seeds we plant, man, they continue to grow. Like I said, man, we warriors, so we gonna fight till we can't fight no more. We taught that in our martial art class. If we gonna fight to the death. You know what I'm saying? There is no stoppage. There is no tapping out in the real world. There is none of that. We fight to the death. So my prayer is that y'all come on out to heal the hood. And, if we don't got the solution, maybe y'all got the solution. And if y'all don't got the solution, then they got the solution. And together, we're going to put that plan in motion. So it's all love, man. We outlaws for life around this motherfucker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Outlaws for life. Thank you for coming, my brother.
So Santana, I'll see you Saturday. I know I see the family on Saturday and whatnot, but Santana can hold it down about that heal the hood shit. She qualified. She got it.
Hey, you're welcome to come back anytime, man. You come back in your off season and we'll talk about what you got going in and big up that.
Love, big brother. I appreciate it, family.
All
Peace.
right.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
So my sister, you the last one standing. You free to stay with us till we're done, or
I'm a
you
little
can say
scared.
I gotta go. I'm finna go watch Housewives of Atlanta. I totally
Oh my
understand.
God. Not stereotype. No, just like no, I mean I got a little more time. I got a
Yeah,
little
but
more
For sure.
I ain't gonna keep us on. I ain't gonna keep us on too long because I feel like we've had a lot of heavy conversation. I just wanted to kind of go through some things. My brother Sarai Sayer said, I want to, because my chat room was popping this whole time and I couldn't keep up with it because the conversation was going. He said, good and bad person. People all been in there and shit's still the same and getting worse. So get rid of them and put dates on their positions. They all been sitting peachy because they got theirs. Well, yeah, you talking about those cats on the Common Council making in upwards of $85,000-$90,000 a year, right? With a 12,000 line of personal credit to move and groove as they see fit. And all they really have to do is sit in on licensing meetings, right? So being a forward thinker or a real progressive type of cat is not in a job description, apparently. But I am upset with black people. I got a bone to pick, goddammit. I'm pissed off right now. I'm pissed off.
I can
Y'all done raised so much hell. Y'all done raised so much hell they done took the goddamn ice cream off the damn shelf in Walmart before I even got to taste it.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, it's not that
Right.
deep. But
All this hating. All this hating, man. All this unsolicited banging, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. That ice
The
cream
Me
sound
Too
like it.
movement, man.
Huh?
It's the Me Too movement. Oh, they got a problem with it. Take that shit off the shelf.
And Walmart, hurry up and put. You ain't took dry serve neck bones and all that other real unhealthy shit you got in your store.
Hey,
But
my
come on,
bad.
man.
Hey, but shout out to Liz Brown, right? Shout out to Liz Brown. She posted something today, man. She showed there was a white guy that coined the word Juneteenth.
Already off top, yes sir. Why wouldn't he?
Hey, and the whole ice cream demonstration. You know what I mean? They had the flavors on there and everything for the Juneteenth ice cream. You know what I mean? So couldn't nobody else do
Well, see now, hold
it.
on. Now
That shit crazy, man.
I'm serious with this. Now, first of all, you got to understand we wanted Juneteenth to be a national holiday, and it was certified as that. They even extended Martin Luther King Boulevard 3 more blocks, right? The aldermen did do that, right? Good job, y'all. They did do that, but now, so if I can't get no Juneteenth Day ice cream, then I don't want no 4th of July ice cream. I don't want no fruit cake for Christmas. I don't want no holiday. I don't want no. Don't show me no pumpkin pie at Halloween. I'm snapping all hell's gonna
Right.
break loose. I mean, this shit was red velvet cake swirl with like, come on, man, this was a real man. I don't know if you ever
Well,
gotten
I think
really high. Have you ever gotten really high and got some good ice cream? Like they fucked up the whole game, man. Black people, shame on y'all, man.
well the post I've been seeing, and I shared it on one of my pages. It was showing how it was saying instead of buying the Juneteenth ice cream, there was actually an ice cream company that was black owned by a woman, exact same flavor. So I can't remember it. I think it's on my Facebook page on this phone, so I can't go to it right
Seen
now.
your
But
post. I
Well,
seen
we
your
got
post.
a black woman here in Milwaukee who make ice cream.
right, I shared that too. I shared that too. Yeah,
Make ice cream. Best
So-
ice cream I ever had too.
I shared that too, and I think what people don't
I
understand
ain't
is
just
that.
saying that.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna
Well,
have to
people.
follow y'all pages. I ain't know nothing about this.
Well, check it out. Really Jai, RELLYJAI.
Yeah,
But
I add you to the People's News Network. That's usually where it goes
oh,
down.
okay. I put it in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what happens is people be wanting stuff, or we be wanting stuff. Well, I think it'd be split where people want acknowledgement, but then they want to dictate how it's acknowledged. It became a federal holiday, no different than Valentine's, St. Patrick, shit like that. So you gotta expect capitalists to capitalize on shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
The same some of
We
bitch
should be
is
able to.
bad
We
about
should be able to
the
shut that
Juneteenth.
shit down though. Like
The
we,
same,
and they
one of
did.
us. I think one of our brilliant minds should have thought of that.
Right, and
the
they did.
same, the
And I'd
same
have. Hey, look, and I'd have been
self-righteous,
all for it.
the the same self-righteous sumbitch who was complaining about this Juneteenth Day ice cream was drinking green beer on St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sick of this
That's
bullshit.
how it
Fact.
go though, man. That's just how it go because it seems like we not used to getting shit, so we be confused on how we want it. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Juneteenth shit, I ain't never been pressed for Juneteenth because I understand Juneteenth was particularly for the Galveston, Texas folk that were left in the dark about slavery being over. So it was for a particular, but I understand we could celebrate it as the end of slavery, but I mean, we still got the 13th Amendment type
Tell
shit,
me,
you
you
know?
tell me. Now you tell me,
Yeah.
y'all tell me right now, since we talking about Juneteenth. In times such as these in a city like Milwaukee where the violence and the crime is sky high, why isn't there a campaign already attached to Juneteenth Day to bring it in and make it to have a narrative of stopping the violence in the community? Because it's running right through the community. Why is it all about buying a booth and being a vendor? You understand what I mean? Why is it about that? It ain't about, well, we need to get the youth. We need youth-led initiatives. Let's do a talent show for I'm not saying ain't nobody having one. So before you jump on there, I want to bring them out, Upper Sinai, Missionary, Tylenol, Baptist Tabernacle. We had them. Okay, whatever you're doing, you're doing. I'm saying it should have been a citywide initiative attached to this already to say we going into Juneteenth with a spirit of peace and a spirit of getting along and solidarity, and we're gonna make it a theme. And we're gonna have hashtags and make a social media
It's
campaign.
supposed to be that automatically. You know
Yeah, I
what
thought
I mean?
Juneteenth was that a celebration of Black folk excellence. You know, at
It's that
least
day. You
till
go to
noon.
Juneteenth to get
And
some
they
hope.
do got stuff for the kids, but I mean, shit, Juneteenth don't last till nothing but 3 o'clock.
Right.
Right, and you try to get there early before folk wake
You
up and
better
get to
get there
fight this
early.
shit. You know what I'm
You
saying?
better
Like,
get there
all
early.
while I was growing up, we knew get to Juneteenth before the niggas woke up, because
You gonna miss your
otherwise,
corn on the cob.
right, get your corn on the cob and get the fuck on before the niggas wake up. You know
I'm
what I'm
so
saying? So
old.
But I
I'm so
mean,
old.
hey, but last year's Juneteenth was dope, man. You know what I mean? There wasn't no problems down
yeah, I ain't
there.
heard of too much fighting
There was
lately.
a super big crowd out there. You know what I mean? Me and Ajmu set a booth up. You know what I mean? We checked the bag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. That's to me. That's what Juneteenth is all about.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be capitalizing off
Right.
of this shit,
Right.
Yeah.
But you
Listen,
know they going to, but that's
Right.
the
They
thing.
gonna, no
Whenever
doubt.
they try, let's just shine the light to one of us that's doing it, because you know that's all they good for is stealing ideas and patenting the shit. That's what they do.
but
So
they
you
didn't
know,
steal. They didn't steal Juneteenth Day ice cream. They actually made that shit up. It's one of the rare times where they came with it first. Like it's not like somebody had the flavor that was making it at home. They jumped. Walmart said we're gonna jump out the window. Now all you motherfuckers who was mad about the ice cream ain't gonna stop shopping at Walmart. I can't believe Walmart backed down because they should have said, "What y'all gonna do if we don't stop selling this ice
I
cream?"
mean, the lady did have the flavor. I mean, she ain't call it Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? But it's just
Juneteenth is the flavor.
it's just wild as hell that when they thought of niggas, they thought of red velvet cake. I mean, if you gonna pick one of the fucking church cakes, I'd rather have a caramel cake ice cream, you know, or the 7-Up cake or the motherfucking Sprite ice
That is
cake.
fire.
Watermelon ice cream.
I'm
Red
old.
velvet though. So when
Hey,
they
I'm
think of
old.
niggas, they think of red velvet.
Popeye's chicken sandwich ice cream.
Velvet
I'm
Jones.
old. Shit, they should do German chocolate ice cream. Goddamn it, that's how old I am. And I'm
Hey,
also old enough to remember when
Yeah, that's
Juneteenth was going till like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And you know why they stopped it? Because people was getting their shit split,
right,
right? And there was a
right.
spirit of community activism and love and unity till the sun went down. Then it was that's your ass, Mr. Postman. And this is what that same mentality is still in our community, right? So we can march around it, we can sing around it, we can protest around it, we can party around it, we can even pray around it. But it ain't went nowhere in the last how long we been here. We ain't been here heavy since the 50s because we are products of the Great Migration. So, and ever since we've been here, we've had the same issues in our community. It has not changed. So that's why you get rid of the ice cream. I'm just saying. Put that off. I want some damn ice cream. Sharon Evans said fried chicken and watermelon ice cream. I'm all for this shit. Like it's ice cream.
God damn.
Like that's not a question. Hey, you a coon if you eating some Juneteenth Day ice cream, man. That's just scandalous, man.
Okay, give me some peach cobbler ice cream.
Exactly. Well, now you
good idea. So
Hey,
you go
listen.
start making
With just
ice
the
cream.
bottom crust. I don't even want that top
Hey,
crust. I like that
hey,
bottom soggy
At least
crust.
black
No
people
peaches.
got together on something.
finally, you know what, Kamar? I leave it to Kamar.
Right.
Silver
That's
lining. You are right. We did. Or either
and they
they
shut
found
it
out
down.
putting that goddamn red velvet cake in there
Hey,
cost too much and they weren't
and
gonna
I
make no money
hope,
off of it.
and what I hope is that motherfuckers learn from this shit. We stick together and stick to something. You know what I mean? We can change some shit like that. You know what I mean? I say it all the time about these stores in our neighborhoods, all these corner stores and gas stations and shit. You know what I mean? We could quit fucking with these people for about 5, 6 months and they going out of business.
That's right.
Mhm.
We
We
swoop in and get that shit.
I mean, we gonna stick together
You know
on
what
this
I mean?
significant
It's
shit.
coming, man. It's coming, but you know what I mean? I just think, you know what I mean, the collective consciousness got to raise a bit more.
we buy fried chicken from Arabs, and out of all the shit in our community they sell us that we could get together and get rid of, we got rid of some goddamn ice cream. Tell me
Damn
where
right.
the fuck the
You
logic is
damn
in this
right.
He's so mad
Right.
about this ice
You
cream.
damn right.
Selling pills and syrup
Hey,
and lean
hey,
and
kid.
fucking
Hey, like I said, man, if a black person had made the ice cream and called it Juneteenth ice cream, I'd have been all for it.
black people. Black
People
people.
probably would have still been mad. You remember they got rid of the PJs and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was black people that complained about the PJs.
Right.
Right.
Man, shit. He
That
said,
shit was hilarious, nigga.
man, it was. They said they gave Juneteenth a shelf in every part of the store too. I bet you that. Why not? Like I don't. Once again, people go, "Oh, it was my 4th of July fit," but I can't have no Juneteenth Day ice cream. That's what I'm
Nope.
saying. Man. You buy your kids. This shit is just ludicrous. It's just
You better
ludicrous.
not.
Yeah,
You
that
better
was
not
that
let me
was
see you with a bucket of that ice cream, nigga.
Right, wait,
I'm gonna send you the black lady's ice cream so you can
I seen
proudly
it.
buy that one. You know what I'm saying?
Ace Cooley said Taliban chicken. Yeah, we buy fried. We go in the gas station and
Taliban
buy
chicken.
chicken. We buy fried chicken from the gas station. But I can't have no goddamn Juneteenth Day. I'm not going to say this shit with a Newport hanging out his mouth. Motherfucker, when you see no ice cream out here. Sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of it. My sister, you do filmmaking. I like to know, um, uh, what do you have any other projects? Because I know you knee deep in the Claude thing, but do you like? Are you? Because I got some ideas. Because we got some People's Network for real for some People Network stuff coming up for our film
yeah,
our
yeah.
film. So I want to know what are you looking at? I want to do Father Grappy. I want to do the Father Grappy story. I know people out there listening gonna bite my shit. Because really,
Father crap.
Father Grappy was a white dude who,
Mhm.
who did a lot and showed a lot more courage than a lot of black leaders. Now I do understand he was propped up by a very strong network of black people who supported him.
Mhm.
But he if you talk about who did what, he's like the premier in terms of protesting here in Milwaukee. Why we can cross the bridge from Africa to Europe right now, from the north side to the south side. I don't know if you ever heard that joke. That's the longest bridge in the world. It connect Africa and Europe. That's the wasn't that the 16th viaduct? They call it the longest bridge in the world. But, but I don't know. So do you got anything coming up film wise?
Yeah, so when Claude Got Shot was my first film out of school, and it's obviously a documentary. And while I do have a love for documentary, also did another social justice documentary when I was in school. I had always wanted to get into narrative stuff, like I always wanted to like write stuff and create shows and create movies and stuff that was mostly for entertainment versus social justice.
Mhm.
So after when Claude Got Shot was done, I started to jump more into, or even while it was in production, I started to jump more into my narrative bag. This hat I got on right now, Black Girl Training, is one of my projects. It's a TV series, a comedy TV series that I created with a creative partner of mine. About it's kind of loosely based on her life, about a black girl who is a transracial adoptee and moves to and grows up in like rural Wisconsin, and then she moves to the city for college where she learns how to be black for the first time. So it's a comedy series, kind of joking on like what it really means to be black and stuff like that. So we're still in the process of trying to sell that show.
Do you have it casted? Do you have it fully casted already?
No, no, no. So we basically have all the documents and the creation. We have the world of the show right now, and we're trying to take that out to different
I
networks and
got
streaming services and sell it.
I have a knockout actress for your one of your lead roles. I'm telling you, my daughter, she is a BFA major at the University of Minnesota right now, right? Like, and straight up did the whole repertory theater thing here. I'm about to go and study abroad in the UK next fall, and then go to New York and be on Broadway. That's what they do at their BFA program at the U of M. And so she is phenomenal. I'm talking about every show I've ever seen her in. Of course, it's my daughter, so
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Ugh." But no, this girl is phenomenal. So I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
connect me to her. So she's not in Milwaukee no more then.
well, she here. Was she here for summer
Oh,
break? Because she's about to kick rocks to Europe. And as a father, I'm a little, little perturbed, a little nervous about it. But I gotta let her, I gotta let her fly. And she earned this honor from making this theater company with the University of Minnesota. But I'm telling you, she is a phenomenal actress. So if y'all
yeah,
if you
connect
tell me
me.
when the auditions are or something like that, she'll blow you away. Sing, dance, draw, paint. I'm telling
I
you.
love meeting people like that. Definitely connect me. With Black Girl Training, the goal. Now we don't know if this is gonna happen because we've been at it for a few years, but the goal is to sell it to a network, and the network would do everything. Like they would do the production, just like they would for I don't know Power or you know what I mean. Like depending on what network we sell, they would do everything. We just created the show, and if we want to continue to be involved from there, we will be. But I do have another movie I'm working on called The Last Week, and it's my first short film that I am directing, and I'll be shooting in August. And so, maybe she want to audition for that because with that one, I have more creative control. That one is a love story about a woman who spends one last week with her boyfriend before he turns himself into prison. Um,
Well,
and
she can't be
so,
the main lead in that. I've been done tore up the whole damn set. She gotta be like the best friend or something. Like she can't
well,
be
she can't be the main lead.
your ass off my daughter. I'd be done, man. Like, I be done got into it. Like Annie finna go to prison. What was you thinking? Like, movie,
Listen,
daddy.
you better let that girl be great. Now,
No,
that's a project I have total creative control over. That's a project I'm raising the money for, and I know what I got in budget to say. Hey, I can hire whoever I want for that. So if you introduce us and she interested, definitely.
if you got an organization, I just like to pass it along to her. And I know right now she's like, Dad, I'm working. I'm trying to get some money because I'm about to hit it. I'm about to go to Europe and whatever. But like I say, I believe in networking because my baby girl is nothing nice. I'm telling you, she's ridiculously talented. I'm
Yeah.
not, I done seen her do Shakespeare and all kinds of stuff, man. Christmas Carol, everything, right? And
Oh.
big time productions, not no little shit where you there at the school and some dude come out, I am a tree and all that shit. No, I'm talking about
Come on now, why?
no, I'm talking about Milwaukee Repertory Theater, man. Like with directors coming in from New York to direct them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna add you to the People's Network. And whatever information, whatever y'all got going, like any opportunities for young actors or actresses, I'll sign her up for it because she
Yeah.
I'll tell her about it. I can't sign her up for nothing. She grown now. She might look at me like
Yeah.
I
And
did Shakespeare. I'm not doing chit and such plays. Mama,
yeah.
my feet are tired. I'm not doing that. Like
I'll definitely send you my website. She could check it out, look at
yes.
what I've done so
There
far.
we go.
And,
There we go.
yeah.
Art Reflects Life says, I want to say Sharon, but it might be Sharon. You know how black people is. It's Sharon. Right. Sayer said, don't give all your shit away like Ice Cube did Mr. Big Money.
Oh,
Yeah. Man, we want a network, man. I got
yeah.
Ghetto Made Films, my boy Ghetto Made. I'm telling you, we about to jump off into the deep end of the creek with a documentary. I ain't gonna tell people what it is. I'm just gonna say One Nation. Just remember that, One Nation. And so that we're about to do that's gonna be the People's Network Films under People's Network Films. So Kamar, like, damn, man, he just made that up because he didn't tell me that last. No, he know I ain't
On
lying.
the fly.
Right. Right. Look, I want to thank y'all for being here tonight, man. I'm gonna have a good time tomorrow night. I have a Outlaw Nation. I'm gonna have DJ Toxic on here. We're gonna have a real deep conversation about hip hop. I'm gonna make it. Everything is gonna be about rap because we got 8 Ball and MJG versus UGK versus. I gotta talk about this with y'all
Man,
too.
my prayer's been answered. I posted that like 2 years ago that I wanted a UGK and Ball and G versus, and
No, but no
it
Pimp
done
C
came to
though.
fruition.
There's no Pimp C. I'm having a hard time.
Right.
There better not be a Pimp C hologram, first of all. And you better not bring out a bunch of imposters to try and do his lyrics. So I'm trying to figure out how Bun is gonna stand because Ball and G gonna bring Memphis with them. They're gonna bring a bunch of people. You better believe it's gonna be 100 people on that stage. And I know UGK is gonna bring Texas, but you don't have Pimp C. And
Right.
Pimp C is the home run hitter for UGK. So it's gonna be an event for hip hop. But we're gonna talk
Right.
about this tomorrow night. We'll talk about their catalogs individually. We're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff with hip hop. I keep saying with the Young Thug thing, I didn't really trip on it because like Young Thug showed me I was old. Like, cause I totally didn't get Young Thug from the gate. Like, I don't get the dresses and all of it. Like, that's just not. I don't feel it. I knew then your ass is too old, right? Like, you gotta start going to Mr. J's instead of going to 618.
Hey man, that's where I used to go.
Yeah, you making me feel old, and I'm only 30. I felt the same way, but I ain't ready for Mr. J's yet. I don't go to
Man, please, I used to be there every Thursday watching the Steppers and
My
enjoy my
last
apple crown
dollar.
and cranberry.
Shit, bro, boy. Right? Shit, it's time to go. Listen to them young boys back there acting a fool. Let's get up out of here, man. Shit. Yeah.
Oh, gotta go.
Right. Let's get the hell up out of here. Shit. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So tune in tomorrow night for Outlaw Nation. I wish y'all much success with Heal the Hood. I know that brother's very passionate about what he does. And we try to create a safe space here on the show so that everybody can, give their perspective. So nobody's wrong or right. Right? Everybody's right when they come on Outlaw Radio. You right. Whatever you said, even if I don't agree with it, yeah, you right. Right? That's how we do this. Yeah, you right, right. Kev, I didn't say nothing. Well, shit, you still right for not saying nothing. But no, so thank you for coming. Hopefully we
Yeah.
can get you back because I wanted the film. I hope it's successful. When you do your next project, come through here and promote it. Kamar, what you got popping this weekend, man? Is the sun gonna be out? I don't know. What's up with the
Yeah, the
next?
sun gonna definitely be out, man. I'll be in Vegas this weekend.
Oh yeah,
But
you told me
next
that.
week, I got starting next week. Oh, I got a lot of stuff coming, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Next week, but I'll keep y'all posted next week with that stuff.
Okay. My sister, and you said I Shot Claude is the name of it.
When
I'm
Claude got shot, and
Claude.
remember, when Claude got shot. Yep, you could check it. You could get more information at whenclaudeGotShot.org. And come out tomorrow at the Oriental 6:30 to see a free screening of the film and have a conversation about mental health afterwards. And then, like I said, catch us at the Hill to Hood block party on Saturday.
Damn, I wish I'd have knew about this earlier because we could have promoted. Real, what you got going on
So
with
you
your book?
said it's showing tomorrow?
Yep, free screening at the Oriental 6:30.
6:30.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Real, what you got going with the books, man?
With the books, man, just still trying to get them in these stores, reaching out to people who got connects with group home. That's my goal, to catch these kids at a pivotal time or a pivotal age in their life where it's pertinent to know and understand and develop self-love so you can stand 10 toes down on just being yourself and not conforming and being part of the group type shit. So, reaching out to stores, see if they want to carry my book on some sort of consignment, reaching out to some friends and things who I know making movements and work with the youth. Cause I ain't one of them cats that get out here in the trenches, cause shit, I got 6 kids to raise of my own. So shit, they take a whole lot of time, but I will write the books and support and provide tools to everybody who is out there. So, just reaching out and networking and it's supposed to get a little nice. So I'm hoping this weekend to get some of my little plants out the tent and put them outside in the garden and get that shit cracking.
All right, man. Y'all look this sister up. Get you some Nature's in the Turn, not this weekend because he's gonna be in Vegas. Get Rail's books, man. We push his books all the time. I do understand, man. I do understand that not one individual nor one individual organization can change the world. I understand that. I also understand it's not going to be an overnight thing. But what I am saying is we've been doing the same shit for a very long time and it's been ineffective. We've been saying the same speeches for a very long time and they've fallen on deaf ears. We've been following the same leaders for a very long time and they've proven to be ineffective. The time for change is really right now. This is not an Obama cliche. When I say change, I'm serious. I mean, like change, like vote your ass out. I always say hire your ass, fire your ass, right? To become an informed voter is something that we need to invest in, right? And I understand that people don't feel a sense of common unity in the community because they feel like they don't own anything, which is also partially true. But it also shows you the chokehold economically that's been on us for the better part of the last 60 years. There's no way we should still be at the bottom of every negative economic trend that you can possibly imagine. When you have other cultures and other people who've come here way after us and been able to capitalize on capitalism. So you talk about Hmong people who've empowered themselves and really built and established their own community. Latinos are spreading fast, and I don't want to say it like they're a plague. Their influence, their culture is spreading fast. Asian people have a strong foothold, and I need not remind you about our Indian neighbors. Well, they're not our neighbors; they're our occupiers because they work at the gas stations and the fried chicken places in our community, right? And then they get the fuck up out of Dodge. They're not part of the community.
Trying to take their money back to their neighborhood.
Exactly. So what I'm saying to black people is it's time to do it differently. I love a good speech as much as the next man. And you know, black people, yeah, hell yeah, just say that shit. And then we leave there with the same goddamn problems that we came with, right? It's time for real action. It's time to really make some change. We can't keep doing the same shit, or we're gonna keep getting the same results. My daughter put me up on something that's very funny, and if I know if y'all younger than me, y'all probably heard it, but it makes a whole lot of sense. She says, "Dad, play stupid games, win stupid prizes." And I feel like that's where we at right now. And without intentional solidarity and without being informed voters and forcing politicians to work for the best interests of the people, we're spinning our wheels and we keep trusting these snake oil salesmen who make $80,000 a year and they get the fuck up out of Dodge, but they tell you, hold on, be strong, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better for him as he makes more money and stays in office longer, is able to then invest and send his or her children to private schools and try to become some sort of black blue bloods. Right. I said a whole lot, but I ain't really said shit. It's just a podcast. It's not meant to save the world. You have to understand, man, either you part of the problem or you part of the solution. Which one do you want to be? And then you get these people who really don't know where they stand at. So I asked them one simple question, and I think we're all familiar with it. Does your criticism of my community outweigh your contribution? Because if it does, your ass is a coon. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Outlaw Radio, man. Outlaw Nation, man. Peace and love, man. Thank you for coming, my sister.
Peace.